All right, so our lesson today is rational numbers on coordinate plane. So we're gonna start with this. So, what was the most fruitful thing you have done during the break? I'll give you a minute or two, guys.
What does fruitful mean?
Means meaningful, means you have done something great, something like that. Fruitful. Yeah, you're right, no? All right, I'll give you a minute. Would like to share? Anybody?
Queenie joined.
Alana, go ahead. You want to share?
Yeah, and Queenie joined. Queenie Lynn.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna check Queen's answer. Attendance.
And
Mhm.
the most fruitful thing that I did was I washed the dishes without being asked to.
Nice. I like that. Omar?
Probably the most fruitful thing I did was probably spend time with all my family.
That's nice too, right? Sleeping, taking enough rest to get more power for this. Spend time with family, that's nice. I like that. You guys need a rest. Me too. I had a best friend come over first time. That's two. Help wash dishes. I like that, Alana. Do some chores. Yes, helping your parents to do some stuff. That's nice. Doing homework. Everything has a reason, right? Whatever you are doing, it's good. Even though you're just sleeping or taking a little break from like works, paperworks. Yes, that is also correct. That's also okay. All right. So thank you for the share. I'll read all the shares later on, and I'll bet you guys have fun during the break. Do you guys play in the snow? No one play outside.
No. Over here, the snow, like in an hour, it was all ice.
Yeah, I played over the break. I probably played for like 2 hours in the snow in total.
That's nice. At least you have fun. All right, let's start. So this
I didn't go outside at all.
Oh my God, you need to take some air. It's okay.
I actually didn't go outside at all. I just stepped in front of my door. Step.
But that's fine. It's okay. We'll take it all in springtime and summer. I hope COVID by that time is gone. So listen, let's go back to our lesson. This week's lesson is the last part of this unit. So our goal is to represent rational numbers on the coordinate plane by plotting points and locations. That's why I asked you before to be ready with a graph paper. We might not need it today, but tomorrow. So let's look at the lesson that we're gonna have. So the first exercise, you already know our sequence. We're gonna go graph the coordinate plane, and let's watch that video at SAVVAS. I hope it works. Right, let's set it up, make it bigger. All right. Should play by itself, right?
How can you graph a point on a coordinate plane? Think about this question during the lesson. A coordinate plane is a grid containing two number lines that intersect in a right angle at 0. The number lines, called the x and y axes, divide the plane into 4 quadrants.
Extend what you know about grids to the coordinate plane.
How is this coordinate plane different from coordinate planes you have seen before?
So, in elementary school, I don't know if you already have learned the coordinate plane, and this is the quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Anybody have idea what is this coordinate plane about, Alana?
I don't really know what it's about, but I have a question. Why is coordinate 1 on the top right, wouldn't it be on the top left and coordinate 2 be on the top right, and then the coordinate 3 and 4 stay the same? And why is it written with Roman numerals?
Yeah, so many questions, but those are good questions. Anybody got answer for Alana before I jump in? No. So because of this is quadrant one, because of the points that is in here, that's one reason. And it's their system, that's why it's in Roman numeral. It is Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's how the in Greek time that was written all the quadrants. And then quadrant one goes here because of the clock. You know how the clock counterclockwise clock position, so they make it like that. So from here going around, so counterclockwise position.
So they try to make it counterclockwise instead of clockwise.
Yeah, so it starts here, it starts one. And somebody just put in the chat that because it says it's the x and the y, so that's also another like a reason, but because it's all positives, the points are here are all positives. Later on we'll see what are the points. So if you could see here, this is the x-axis and this is the positive side and the negative side. That's the y-axis, that's the positive side, and that's the negative side. So if you're gonna plot a point, you always do x and then y. So this is the positive and a positive y, positive x, positive y. Here the x is negative and the y is positive. Here both the x and y is negative. Here the x is positive and the y is negative. So that's what the coordinate plane is, and they have 4 quadrants. The center is here, so it doesn't have a sign. So let's look what more information they give us. Okay, ask questions. Could ask question later again.
This coordinate plane includes negative integer values to make 4 quadrants instead of just 1. Which axis is horizontal? Which axis is vertical? The x-axis is horizontal. The y-axis is vertical. How can you graph and label points on a coordinate plane? An ordered pair, x, y, of numbers gives the coordinates that locate a point relative to each axis. Graph the points q, 2, -3, r, -1, 1, and s, 0, 2, on a coordinate plane.
So I'm gonna pause a little bit. So the ordered pair is the number that represents a point. So if you're gonna plot some points over here, like later on we'll see how Q, R, and S being plotted, but you're gonna go with X first all the time and then you go to the Y. So let's say 2 of the X is here and the y in -3 is here. So the q will be plotted on this point. You cannot switch them around because if you switch them, -3 and 2, it will be here. It will be a wrong point. So it always be x, y. You go x first and then y. All right, let's see how it's being plotted.
To graph any point P with coordinates x, y, start at the origin, 0, 0. Use the x-coordinate to move right, if positive, or left, if negative, along the x-axis. Then use the y-coordinate of the point to move up, if positive, or down, if negative, following the y-axis. Draw a point on the coordinate plane and label the point.
So we usually go to the x-axis first and then go to the y. And if it is negative, you start with the negative. But since here q is positive x, so you start at +2 and then go down since it's -3. But if that's +3, you have to go up to where the +3 is. Okay?
Now let's graph point R, -1, 1. What is the x-coordinate of point R? What is the y-coordinate of point R? Describe how to graph point R on the coordinate plane.
Can anybody tell us how you're gonna grab point R on the coordinate plane? Alana?
You start at 0 on the x-axis, then you move left to -1, and then you move up to 1 on the y-axis because it's a positive, and then you'd graph it at the point where they would both intersect.
So this is where we are, where my
Yeah.
cursor is. Is that correct? Anybody would like to add to that? Omar, Himanzi, or Andy? Did Alana plot it to points correctly?
In -1, it would go in. So if you put it in x, it would go on -1, and then it would go to 1 on top.
So it's here.
Yeah.
So you guys sure about that, okay? So let's see if we get it right.
The x-coordinate is -1. The y-coordinate is 1. To graph point R, you start at the origin and move 1 unit left, then 1 unit up. In which quadrant is point R located?
Select your answer.
So which quadrant is it located now? The R. Can I ask somebody else? Let's say Alana already raised her hand, but Kevin, before I ask Alana, where is R located? What quadrant it is? Ziying said, all right, so Ziying said 2. Alana, were you thinking the same way? Omar? Himandis said agree. So it's on quadrant 2. And Q is on quadrant what? Quadrant
4.
Correct. So you're not writing it in number 4. You guys gonna write them in Roman numeral. All right. We'll look like we're Greek today. All right, let's play it.
Point R is located in quadrant 2. For point S, 0, 2, the x-coordinate is 0. How would you plot point S?
Before I play that, who could tell us where we plot point S? Can I have Selena?
You would put it at 0 on
the x will be 0, x. And then where the y go?
And then you go up to 2.
Okay.
And then that's where you
got. So Aiden, is that correct? So Aiden said directly to 2 of the y. Aiden said yes. Alana, is that true? All right. You guys are quiet a little bit, huh? Yes, Alana?
Is that if it asks what quadrant was it in, would you say it was between 1 and 2? Or would you say that it wasn't on 1?
That's a very good question too. I love the way you asked me. All right, so anybody would like to answer that question that Alana is asking? Now it is here. Will it be on quadrant 1 or 2 or in between? You're gonna say. Anyone have an idea what will it be? Himanzi? Himanzi, you're raising your hand. Aiden said between, question mark, or asking. Himanzi said no. Omar, do you have an idea where it will be?
I'm not sure either, but taking a guess, I believe that it would probably be on the second quadrant because, no, wait, actually it would be in between.
Yeah.
It has the first quadrant has no numbers.
Correct. But
coming towards it like that, so I think that it will be in between, counting for both.
It could be in between by, what is that in between them? What is this called? What is this called?
A number line?
No, what axis is that?
The y-axis?
The y-axis. So you could say neither quadrant 1 or 2, it's on the y-axis. The same way, if there's point that's plotted on the x-axis, you will not say which quadrant it is. It's on the x-axis or the y-axis. In this case, S is on the y-axis. All right, so let's say yes. See.
To plot point S, start at the origin, but do not move left or right. Then move up 2 units on the y-axis.
So we're just gonna play next. So later on, you're just gonna work on.
Now
you're just gonna work on these questions later on. it is in your Google Classroom. But let's proceed to the next one. So exercise number 2 is locating points on the coordinate plane. So we have a map here. You're already gonna have an idea what I'm gonna asking you guys to do in your graph paper later on. Later on the day, it's here. So let's see what is exercise number 2. Where is it? Why am I missing it all? All right, let's see.
A grid map of Washington, D.C. is shown. What are the coordinates of the location of the Jefferson Memorial?
So did you see the Jefferson Memorial? Where is it? So this is Jefferson Memorial. That is Washington Monument. That is FBI Building, Ellipse, White House, and Lincoln Memorial. So the ask is, what is the location of Jefferson Memorial? Vicky. Oh, I did not double check attendance. Yes. In later on, when you guys are doing your work, I'll go back. Everybody's here anyway. All right. So what are we working on? Vicky, where is Jefferson Memorial in this map? At where? It looks like there's a rational number, so it's not just whole numbers. We could use like fractions. Yes, we do this in SAVVAS later. Can anybody tell me where Jefferson Memorial is? Alana, what's the x coordinate?
The x-axis would be 1/2, and the y-axis would be 1 3/4.
It's
negative 1 3/4.
Right. So the x-axis will be at 1/2 because that's where it is, and the y-axis is gonna be at 1, 1, 2, 3, and negative 1 3/4. Very nice. Thank you. How about FBI building? Where is that located, Omar? The FBI building is located at, what's the x-axis?
The x-axis is 2.
And then the y-axis is?
The y-axis, that is 1.
It's cut into 4. 1/4.
1/4.
Okay.
Yeah, 1/4.
That's correct. So you're gonna have it at 2 and 1/4. Parentheses 2 comma 1/4. Very nice, guys. So let's look over here. In your, I think you could do this in your
A grid map of Washington, D.C. is shown. What are the coordinates of the location of the Jefferson Memorial?
Jefferson Memorial, we did that. And we also did coordinates negative. Oh, they did it with decimal. That's fine. If you're gonna do it with fraction, that's what we said. 1/2 and 1 3/4. That is also correct. It's not wrong. Okay. Decimal and fraction will be fine as your answer. So this one I want you to do it later on. All right. So let's look at activity exercise number 3.
So are we doing these now, or are we gonna do them later?
We might do it after this one. I'll let you do it with this first 3. So let's listen to this one first.
How are points N, P, and Q related to point M? Point M has an x-coordinate of 3 and a y-coordinate of 2. It is located in the first quadrant. Point N has an x-coordinate of -3 and a y-coordinate of 2. It is located in the second quadrant.
So before I move forward, in our lesson, I was saying that the next topic we're gonna have is reflection. Anybody could tell me what a reflection is in your own understanding? Yes, go ahead.
Reflection is kind of like you know how a mirror, it shows you the opposite.
Correct.
That's what like a reflection would be on the number line, I think. So like
Mhm.
the reflection of 2 would be -2. The reflection of -4 would be +4.
Yes, that is very correct. Omar?
Yes.
You were raising your hand? Or that was
No.
Selena?
My hand's down.
All right, Selena, you want to add on?
Yeah, I would like to add on to Lana. It's basically like the same number, but like with different values.
Correct. Or since we're talking about the coordinates, it has what do you call that, a connection to the axis. So we'll see how the reflection is being done in this coordinates. So I hope I still remember what page am I. So I'm always this. Here we go.
A reflection is a mirror image across a line.
So the thing that we're looking is across the line. It's not just 2 to -2. So it's across whichever line you're looking at for.
Points M and N differ only in the sign of the x-coordinate. They are reflections of each other across the y-axis. Point P.
So that's why those two are just a reflection on across the y-axis. Later on, it will have something like across the x. So just be careful when they ask you what is a reflection on the y-axis you're looking at the mirror. It could be on your right side or left side where you're standing.
P has an x-coordinate of 3 and a y-coordinate of -2. It is located in the fourth quadrant. Points M and P differ only in the sign of the y-coordinate. They are reflections of each other across the x-axis.
All right, do we have an idea now what a reflection is? Unless you have a question, go ahead.
So the sign that it differs, it's like it's saying that they differed in the y-axis, so there were reflections across the x-axis, and if they differed in the x-axis, there were reflections across the y-axis. So in whichever one that they are the same, that's the axis that they're reflections of.
Correct. That's a good idea. There's a good thing to remember, especially if you don't have the graph in you. Just like a question, what is a reflection of 3 and 2 over the x? So now you know, based on your observation, you're very good in observing some information. So use that later on, especially if you don't have the graph. But that is true, Alana. All right, let's go move forward. One more.
Point Q has an x-coordinate of -3 and a y-coordinate of -2. It is located in the third quadrant. Points M and Q differ in the signs of both coordinates. They are reflections of each other across both axes. Are point P and point Q reflections of each other? Are point N and point Q reflections of each other?
Can it be a reflection of each other? Let's so the next page will be your work, guys. So with that said, we have like few minutes left. So I want you to go to your Google Classroom. I want you to do the first three exercises 1 to 3. Those second questions, the second pages, so you could work on that. All right? And then we'll work for the other examples later on when we come back. So I'll call you back at 9:15, and while you're doing your SAVVAS practices, I'll double check our attendance. So for today's homework, guys, we're gonna work on that take-home quiz that I just posted. I put it 8 p.m., but you could do it a little bit later if you want. All right. So with that said, we'll discuss our answers later on when we come back. In 1 minute, I'm giving you permission to leave so you could have a little breathe in and out before you go to your next class. And I'll see you guys period 3. Alright guys, I'll let you go. I'm giving you permission to leave. Bye bye guys. Selena, you have a question more?
Oh no, I forgot to put it down.
Oh, don't worry about it. So okay guys, I'm letting you go. I'll see you guys period 3.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Bye.
I'll see you back. All right, bye bye.